for joining me. Today we are doing a Beebeecraft Project share. I will be using some of the items that I received in my last Beebeecraft order. If you would like to be part of the Beebeecraft YouTube program, you just need 100 subscribers and you will just need to make 3 videos. One will be an unboxing and then 2 will be project shares. For more information, you can find the link in my description box. It will take you to their website and you can fill out the online form. Now let's get to work. In our first project, I am going to use a giant playing card. And then the Beebeecraft projects that I'm going to use will be the black lace and 2 of the wooden butterflies. First thing I'm going to do is use a little bit of sandpaper just to rough up the edges. I am going to be gluing the lace onto the card, and since the card has a little bit of a shiny surface, I'm just gonna take that off with the sandpaper, and that way I will know that the glue will adhere to it quite well. The next thing I'm doing now is I'm using my punch, and actually this is a Beebeecraft product as well. I got it in my first order, so I'll go ahead and put the link to that below also in case you were interested in it. Even though I'm going to end up covering this fancy cut edge with lace, it still is going to give it a layered look, and I really wanted that. Plus, when you flip the card over, there's going to be a journaling space, and so it will look really decorative on the opposite side as well. Now I'm going to begin adding my lace, and I am going to, instead of cutting it into 4 pieces, I'm going to go ahead and keep it one long piece and then just fold it at the corners. Because I don't want the Fabri-Tac coming up through the lace, I'm just using a very, very fine line of it. Now I'm going to just grab my eyelet punch, and I have chosen a gold colored eyelet to put here so that I can run some ribbon through it, because this is a big tag after all. I got a beautiful 10-pack of satin ribbon from Beebeecraft, and so I am choosing to use kind of this gold yellow one and a red one to thread through this eyelet. I'm also going to be using a piece of the black lace as well. Before I do any more embellishing on the front, I want to go ahead and finish the back. So I'm going to keep this pretty simple on this side. I'm going to adhere a piece of coffee dyed paper. I'm going to be using decoupage, and I will adhere that to the back so that somebody has a place to journal. Now I'm going in with the finishing touch on the front of the card. I'm going to hot glue 2 wooden butterflies onto the front, and I got the butterflies from Beebeecraft, and also I wanted to let you know that I used some sandpaper and sanded the back of them just to scratch off some of the shininess. That way the glue would adhere to it really well. Here is our first completed project. All right, now we are moving on to our next project. So in this next project, I'm going to be using some lace, also the satin ribbon, and the butterflies. I will also be using one of the charms from the dessert keychain pack that I received. I'm going to use the little bottle cap. I had originally made a bunch of altered paper clips for this video, and I don't know what happened, but I lost the footage for them. So I will put a photograph of them here. At least I took a picture of them. You can see that I used the butterflies, the lace, and several colors of the satin ribbon. Since I lost the footage, I had to go ahead and remake a video. And instead of making more paper clips, I decided to go ahead and make some clusters. I am gathering my materials, choosing the lace that I want to work with, kind of just pulling everything together. I really don't have a plan. I'm just diving in with my materials, and we're going to see what happens with that. Something that I have learned from watching many creators is that layers are really important. So I am going to use this spare book page that I have laying around. You know I have many. And so I'm going to add layers.
I'm using this tiny tag, as you can see. So I'm just cutting out a piece of the book page, but then I'm going to end up tearing it to give it some rough edges. And I will place that on top of the little tag. And then I'm going to layer the tag on top of the black lace. You will notice that I'm using a combination of adhesives. I'm using the tacky glue for the paper portion of this, and then to adhere the paper part to the fabric, the lace, I'm using my hot glue gun actually. This little creation is almost finished. I just need to add the little bottle cap charm to it, and I will be attaching that using a bulb safety pin. And here it is. On this next one, I'm using a tiny pink tag, also another piece of the torn book page, and I will be adhering a pink butterfly to it. It's one of the Beebeecraft butterflies. Also, just so that you know, I scratch up the back of the butterfly with sandpaper, and that gets the shiny surface off of it so that it sticks really well to the paper. I am really happy with how this turned out. I think it's super cute. I went ahead and layered some of these off camera so that you could just enjoy, putting the finishing details on it with me. This cluster is a little bit bigger than my other ones, so instead of using a bulb pin, I am using pink satin ribbon. I'm going to set that one aside for a minute so that I can decide how I want to finish embellishing it. So I'm going to begin working on the next one, and I'm actually going to be using a vintage key, and let's see how this comes together. Since I'm going to adhere this key on, I am scratching up the back of it just to make sure that it will stick for the long haul. So I'm layering with a tag and then lace and then another piece of torn book page, and now I am going to adhere the key. This little cluster is bigger than the ones that we started with, so again, instead of using a bulb pin, I am going to use a piece of the Beebeecraft satin ribbon in the cream color. Alright, I have decided to hot glue 3 buttons to this pink tag. Here are some close-ups of our finished clusters. We are on to our last project for the day, and I am really excited about this one. We are going to be creating a very cool card, and we will be using some of the lace that I received from Beebeecraft. Because I'm going to be punching a bulb pin through the corner of the card, I'm adding a little scrap of card here just to give it some reinforcement. I have chosen the lace that I want to use, and I'm simply going to wrap it around the midsection of the card. I will use Fabri-Tac to adhere the lace. The lace is on, and now it is time to adhere 2 more items. The first thing I'm going to adhere is a vintage postmark from an old envelope that I have, and it has the date and also the cost of the postage. Now I'm going to adhere a sticker of Marilyn Monroe with tattoos, and of course we know that she did not have visible tattoos on her arms, but this is a really cool sticker, and so I'm going to use it on this really cool card. Now it is time for the finishing touch. I'm using an awl to punch a hole in my card because I'm going to be adding one of the clusters that I made. I made one on a tiny pink tag, and it has a little tiny paper rose on it. I put that on a bulb pin, and then I put some beads on the bulb pin. So it's so totally cute.
I hope you enjoyed watching me create these projects with all the Beebeecraft goodies that I received. Thanks for watching. See you soon.